We're going to start with graphs now, which is chapter 5. If you have trouble printing, just please let your teacher know so that we can help you. All right, let's do this. Let's turn to packet page 2. In this packet, you'll see that there is a coordinate plane on this page. A lot of the parts that we want you to memorize and actually really study and know and how to identify are all labeled here. I'm highlighting the x-axis here so you can see it's the horizontal line. All right, that's always going to come first whenever we're plotting points, reading points, locating points, right? We always want to focus on the x-axis first. Now, the y-axis is the one that's going down. All right, so x is horizontal, y-axis is vertical. If you notice, they actually intersect right in the middle. That middle point is also known as the origin. It has the coordinate point and the location of 0, 0, right? We didn't move up or down, we didn't move left or right, we didn't do any of that, we stayed there. It's also where we're always going to start. Whenever we plot a point, whenever we go to read a point, we always start at the origin, so this way it makes it easier for us to take our step 1, go to our step 2, then 3. The next thing I want to highlight are the quadrants. If you notice, these quadrants are going to go counterclockwise. You start from the top right-hand corner, right? You have quadrant 1. Now that 1 is written in Roman numerals. Then you go to the left and you get quadrant 2. Again, written in Roman numerals. Then 3, then 4. Just follow the arrows. 4 is written as IV. Don't ask us why. It's the 1 before 5, and 5 represented as V. What you'll also see highlighted in orange is how those quadrants let us know the coordinate points with their signs. So in quadrant 1, any point that's going to be in there is always going to be a positive number, comma, a positive number. Same thing for quadrant 3. Any point that's going to be there is always going to be a negative number, comma, a negative number. So sometimes these little tricks and hints might help us when we're trying to locate a point or figure out where it is on a graph. Now remember, write this down. I know it's already written at the bottom of your page, but here's the thing. X, comma, Y. It's super important because when you hear words like right or up, that's always going to stick to the positive signs, right? So we always want to go towards the positive part of it. Whereas if we hear words like left or even down, that's a negative connotation with it, meaning it's going to represent the negative. You're going to go towards the negative signs. If you notice on the outside of the graph, there's also positives and negatives written by the x and y axes. When you do this, you could also put them on your graph. So let's go to packet page 3. On packet page 3, it wants us to plot the points on the coordinate plane and locate what quadrant those points are in. So what I always love doing first is labeling my coordinate points with x, comma, y. So I know what my x coordinate is and I know what my y coordinate is. I'm going to start at the origin, and I see that my x coordinate is -3, so I go left 3. I see my y coordinate is 4, positive 4, so I go up 4. And I plot my point right there. Now I want to see what quadrant it's in. Well, if I look back on page 2, I can look at what quadrant it is, or I can try and memorize and be like, oh yeah, that is quadrant 2. So I put II. Then for the next point, I again put x, comma, y. I know I start at the origin. I am going to go 5 to the right because it's a positive 5. And I'm not going to go up or down because the y coordinate is 0. And I'm going to plot a point right there. Let's actually label these points. So let's make sure that that red dot is letter A, just like it corresponds to the question number, and the blue dot is letter B. So when I'm locating the quadrant that point B is in, it's not in 1 and it's not in 4. It's actually on the x-axis. When we locate these locations of these coordinate points, we don't want to put 2 quadrants. We don't want to say it's in between. No, there is a specific location. It's on the x-axis. So write that. That was kind of a trick question. So let's take a look at letter C. Put my x, comma, y. Hey, my x coordinate is 0, meaning I'm starting at the origin, but I'm not moving left or right. My y coordinate is -2, so I go down 2 and label that C. Now think about, where is this located? Is it in a quadrant or is it on an axis? It's on an axis, so we label that as y-axis. Now we want you to finish this page and then check your answers as you go. we're going to move on to packet page 4 just to go over a couple of what these worksheets want you to do. Now, the first part you can do on your own, it's just plotting the points. The second part is identifying the quadrant. I've located point A. I can see that it's in quadrant 1, so I label it quadrant 1. For numbers 5 through 10, it wants me to plot each point and label with the letters. So I'm getting 0, 3. Start at the origin, go up 3, put a point, label it letter A. You're going to do that with the rest of these problems. So make sure you're following the directions because it's having you solve different types of coordinate points and coordinate planes, right? Using different types of them. Now we have coordinate points given to us for numbers 11 through 18. Let's take letter J, for example. Let's find it on the coordinate plane. All right, I'm going to circle it for you just so you guys could see it. And it wants us to write the coordinate point. So I start at the origin. I see that my x-axis, it was all the way down to the left, -4. So my x-coordinate is -4, and then went up 1. So I put a +1 as the y-coordinate. So for J, the coordinate point is -4, 1. Let's try another one. Let's look for K. Okay, am I going to move right or left starting at the origin? No, I didn't. So that's a 0 for the x-coordinate. But I did go down 2, which is -2 for the y-coordinate. So our coordinate point is 0, -2. Now just one more problem. On page 5, it wants you to do two things. It wants you to identify the coordinate and write the coordinate point. If you look at number 1, letter A is in quadrant 2. So it's locating the quadrant. And then I'm writing my coordinate point. So take the time to answer all of these questions and follow the lesson plan. Hopefully this isn't too bad of a lesson, so good luck. And like we said before, email us if you have any questions. Clearly I had a lot of fun with my new technological tool. So here's a little message for you, even though I already verbally said it.